So today's job is I'm going to be changing over my alloys, pick up a tyre for one of them, change over my alloys. I'm going to go on to the standard S-line alloys. These alloys are off an A6 S-line, so they're a bit wider, and yeah, it should be good enough. Gave them a little respray whenever last summer. A few little bits that I need to touch up on them, but yeah, it look good. We've got a tyre on here which I think is more of a winter tyre, but there'll be two new tyres going on the front anyway. And then I've got some Michelin PS4s for on the rear anyhow, so yeah, should be fun. Right, so from Temu, I've got myself another rear diffuser, so this should be interesting. As you saw on the previous vlog, I was fitting Helen's new diffuser, if you will. Again, I'm not too sure what's going to be happening in terms of how it's going to work aero wise, but let's see how this works. This looks fairly straightforward, nicely boxed. All the screws and tapes here, what I need. Now these are split into two parts. Now because I have a towing eye, I want to keep that on the car. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm going to be putting these on the back of mine. And again, it's flat plane, and it's just again to help with the aero of the car, just to keep the aero simplified, keep it sort of, you know, flowing nicely. I've done the front. I think I need to work more on the back, and hopefully it should work. So yeah, all good. So yeah, now I'm going to be doing it in two halves, so these do separate, and there'll be two different parts. Now one side I'm probably going to have to cut into to accommodate for the exhaust, and the other half, it's a case of a bit of jiggery pokery just to get it fitting around the towing eye. So yeah, should be interesting. So I'm in a busy Tesco's car park here in Leyland. We have a vehicle to my near side left that's about to reverse out. We have a vehicle to my left that is reversing into a parking space. The guy in the MPV is making an absolute meal of whatever he's supposed to be doing. There you go. Watching for people darting by, and yeah, driving should be treated as a skill, and there are too many people on the roads that have been conditioned into the mentality of driving that it's a convenience. Yes, you could argue convenient in the way of getting you from point A to point B. Convenient in the fact that you don't have to rely on public transport. Convenient that, you know, you're in control of your own destiny, or so to speak. But my attitude is if you appreciate driving, you'll appreciate that what you were once taught, your senses, shall we say, were heightened because of the extremity of the situation learning to drive. I'm driving along here, and I use something called peripheral driving, where literally I relax my eyesight to literally see about 45 degrees either side more than what you would normally do driving and being conscious about it as well. When people are driving, or when you're learning to drive, you're only focusing on one single point at every sort of millisecond, and in that millisecond you can miss quite a lot of information. You can miss a lot of things happening in that one moment. So, you know, right now I can see pretty much there's a white car to my right, and then literally a bus stop to my left. You know, I learned all this from years of being a boy racer, and I'm not going. Can I just say before I go any further on this, is I'm not encouraging young drivers to go around being absolute village idiots, because I tell you what, the best way you can learn is by making mistakes. But at the same time, you know, the roads are much more busier than when I was younger, and situations can arise a lot quicker than what they used to as well. So, you know, a lot of what I've learned and developed as a driver has been off the back of said idiocy, shall we say, that phase in my life of belting around and thinking I was the next Nigel Mansell, Jenson Button, or whoever your motorsport hero is. People's attitudes to driving have completely changed in the past 24 years of me driving, and it frightens me that these young drivers are taught to drive in a prescribed way, but once they get driving, it's taken for granted. And you can argue and say, well, I don't take the fact that I have a car under my backside for granted, because I am on a low income and every penny I get is dedicated to the freedom of driving, or the freedom of living, and driving is just a perk. And yes, it is, but again, complacency is a real thing, and I learned the hard way on several occasions that complacency is what causes mistakes, it's what causes accidents, it's what causes, you know, these situations where people are quite quick to blame the other person, when the truth of the matter is they themselves could be the problem. Obviously you have insurance investigators and other people to do all that work for you, but the truth of the matter, the buck starts with the person in control. Even if you're the person on the receiving end, and I hate to say it, you know, you are partially responsible, because in order to avoid a situation, you have to have the mental foresight about how situations develop. I can drive and I can pretty much second guess what a lot of people are doing, and that's because I've learned to be so attentive with my driving that I can see a situation before it happens. I mean, I follow a 6-car rule. Now, a lot of people will argue, well, that's a 2-second rule. If you drive to a 2-second rule, in your head you must be physically timing a situation, which is distracting. A 6-car rule is you can physically see it. You're not counting, you're not distracting, you're not looking away from what you're doing. You can physically see the situation develop as it's there in front of you. Also as well, when you're looking in the mirrors, I follow a 5-car rule, because at the end of the day, within the 6-car rule, I think you have 2 car lengths to think about it, 2 car lengths to action, and 2 car lengths to actually react. a lot of things happen much quicker than you think, even at 30 mile an hour. This is my attitude on driving. This is why I drive the way I drive. And literally, through years of being an absolute idiot on the road, and I hold my hand up to it, I am guilty of it. Of years being an idiot on the road, I've learned to drive much better, much more reactively, much more controlled, and I do not take the privilege of driving for granted. Like I said, driving is a skill, not a convenience. And people, in my opinion, people need to change that perception from it being, oh well, my car's got all the safety features, it's okay. I mean, XYZ says I'll be safe in a collision or whatever. No. Nobody is ever safe in a car. If you are complacent in a car, you are literally allowing yourself to be a danger on the road. And I have traction control, I have ABS, I have other perks, but I do not trust any of it. I do not trust any assistance. I would, you know, in a newer car, I would not use a park assist. I would do it myself, because mechanical and electrical things can go wrong. Things can break. There only needs to be a little glitch, and then, oh, you're paying a premium, or you're running over a kid, or, you know, you could have any sort of issue like that. And as nice as these things are, and as well tested and stringently, you know, meticulously tested and made sure that they meet the safety standards that, you know, that all manufacturers must follow, you cannot trust technology. You cannot. I refuse not to. I must be a minority in a majority, but end of the day, when I'm driving a car, I am in full control. I do not wish to have a piece of machinery or a sensor or something go awry in order for me to end up in a blooming tree or a field or something. You know, it's I can't allow that. I just can't allow it. Which is why I make a point of making sure that my ability, my health, my attentiveness to driving is at its 200%, 300%, because I can't allow myself to be complacent as a driver. It's getting to the point where we as a species, I feel, have got so dependent on technology that we are prepared to allow something be in control of our life almost. I mean, they're developing self-driving cars. As great as that is, it only takes a sensor or a mechanical glitch or a software issue and you potentially could end up dead. Why are people allowing and getting excited over technology that could potentially end your life? Why are you getting excited over it? I'm not. In fact, I am absolutely petrified of it. You know, lane assist. I've used cars with lane assist, and if I'm honest with you, it's great for people that are a bit dozy or are not attentive. If you're not attentive on the road, you should not be on the road. Simple as. Why drive something that's going to basically clean up your mess because you're not paying attention or you're too tired or for whatever reason? Why? If you're not paying attention to the road, you should not be on the road. Simple as. blooming distance sensors on the front of your cars. I mean, obviously I drive an Audi, so yeah, there are times where Audi quote unquote wanker mode is activated, but to be honest with you, that's on me. Keeping a safe distance of at least 2 car lengths or a car and a half, just to be on the minimal safe side. You know, if you're paying attention to your driving, you shouldn't need a sensor to stop you from going into the back of somebody else's car. You know, why would you need that? If you're going to drive too close to the car in front and not pay enough attention and still hit them, you shouldn't be on the road. Simple as. You know, we've got all this technology on our cars, or these newer cars, that are turning us into bad drivers, that are taking the skill away from driving, you know, are going against the principles of what you were once taught as a driver, because you have a piece of technology on your new car that allows you to be complacent. If you are relying on technology to drive, you should not be driving. I'm sorry I have to say it like that, but you know, again, I'm a driver's driver. Driving is a skill, not a convenience. It is a privilege to be on the roads and having that freedom. But when you have technology in your car covering your mistakes, you're taking that privilege for granted. Whether you have the money or you can afford garage bills, X, Y, Z and the other, you should not be on the road if you are relying on technology to drive your car for you. It frightens me, these new cars. I mean, yes, they're lovely, and yeah, if you have a lapse in concentration, it's great to maybe cover you, but you get complacent. We as a species naturally get complacent when we have something do it for us. And it's scary. It is very scary. I mean, complacency also leads to road rage. It leads to creating a situation but not taking responsibility for it. It leads to, you know, just basically arrogance and this superficial mindset of I'm better than you because what, you have £100,000 blooming electric car compared to maybe some poor bugger who's in a £500 Corsa. You know, it's the attitudes and mental hierarchies as well. I'm kind of going off on a little bit of a rant and tangent here, but you know, my point of what I'm saying is, if you love the freedom of driving, if you enjoy being on those roads and driving something that you've made that's you and is an extension of you, then don't take it for granted. I would personally, now there are people out there that need to drive who are maybe less physically able than maybe I am, but you know, I would ask you guys to try driving without your assists for about a week, right? And understand how you can maybe control a situation better than having your car do it for you. I'm not saying, I know a lot of you are watching this and going, well, I don't have these things on my car. I'm already a great driver. I'm a safe and competent driver, and I'm sure you are. And please don't think I am just yardsticking you. But, you know, there is a lot of complacency on the road. There is a lot of idiocy on today's roads, and it's down to the attitude towards driving. You know, they've got a license and they're taking it for granted. Driving is a skill, not a convenience. It is a privilege, not a convenience. So today's mod has been to put these S-line alloys on. They're a bit wider, 245, wider profile. I've got to respray the centre caps and everything. If you can see in there, I've had to put a spacer on them. Reason being is they're off an A6, and the A6 has 5mm wider wheelbase. But yeah, they look alright on it. Does the job.
Next day.
So what I'm doing is I'm spraying up the centre caps for the temporary wheels, and I've just had to trim some elements out. So I've had to cut a corner out where the exhaust would be, and where my towing eye is as well, in order for this to fit properly on the car. I'm also going to need to maybe put an extra couple of fins on the back bumper in certain areas for it to all work. Right, so they're now crystal blue, and everything is prepped ready to go on the back of the car. Now it's just fitting. There's one. Two. Three. And that's the fourth. So that's the wheel caps done. Now onto the diffuser. One half of the diffuser on, and just need to connect it up, screw it at the plastics at the back, and then that should flow straight through. So yeah, that side done. Now I'm just going to make sure that side's secure. So we now have a mild diffuser on the back of the car. Well, so those are my updates on my car at the moment. She's looking really good now with the summer wheels. Bit of colour, bit of shape, bit of everything really. Just makes her look really all summer and fresh. The next jobs now in due time are going to be the wing and getting everything flush, as well as tidying up this rear door. So if there's any body shop folk that know what they're doing with tidying doors up, hit me up, catch me on my Instagram and everything. But yeah, and with the diffuser, she's looking quite good as well. So she's got all her aero on, giving it a road test. It's done the job, does the job quite well. I've not noticed much difference in fuel economy, but yeah, she's looking good. So that's a few more additions done to my Audi. I do apologise for the rant that I had before. There's been a few pressing issues I've noticed lately with regarding to today's people's driving standards. You know, it's just something I feel passionate about, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who perhaps may have a similar opinion, may have a similar attitude towards driving as well. With this project, you know, I want to kind of give a very broad sort of feel to this content, you know, and I don't want it to be all about me modifying or upgrading my car. Future content will be other people's cars. I'll be talking to the owners with regards to, you know, their daily running costs and anything that they feel that they've done to their car that has maybe improved their personal financial side to things. A lot of people say when you buy an old car you're taking a lot of risk, you know, because a lot more can go wrong with an older car. But the thing is as well is if that older car is looked after properly, you can also save yourself a lot of money in the process. With newer cars, it's a very it's an unknown, and you know, you can buy a new car and expect it to be absolutely fantastic, but there may be, you might be, you know, by sheer bad luck, by complete lemon out the factory, or you could end up buying an absolute bulletproof beast of a car. It's one of those, and I try to be as transparent as I can. I might use terminology and words which may, you know, a few of you may not agree with or may not resonate with you, but you know, I try to be as informative, and some information I get it back to front, or might be a bit outdated because, you know, last time I worked in a dealership was a good about 5-6 years ago. So it has been a while, and I know a lot has changed in the motoring industry. It is an ever evolving industry. I hope people enjoy this content. I hope people you know, support this. I'm thankful for the sponsors that have got on board with this and are supporting this channel, and I'm thankful for you viewers, you know, just taking a chance on a hobbyist content creator, because I sure as hell didn't plan on making this a career. So all that's left for me to say is please comment, like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Please share, please spread the love. If you're following me on Facebook, look up Jay Middleton and or Vader Monkey TV and Gaming. You know, I've got into this now. I'm really enjoying it. It's something different, something diverse from my music lifestyle, and yeah, I just want to thank everyone for the support. Again, please comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Jay Talks Cars.
Lagging whilst gaming? Out of steam after a long day at work and you want to go out raving? Or just need something to get you through your grueling day? Dubby Energy, a healthier alternative to the off-the-shelf brands. Dubby is packed full of the important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks don't provide. This product doesn't contain artificial additives and is also sugar-free, maltodextrin and keto-free. One tub on average is cheaper than consuming 2 cans per day of the off-the-shelf brands. Order your Dubby Energy via their website at dubby.gg and use my promo code VaderMonkeyJ to get yourself 10% off your order. Keeping yourself energized doesn't have to be unhealthy.